राम 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 हरे हरे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण। Hare Krishna, dear devotees. So today it is Saturday, 23rd of August. It is Bhadra Masa or Krishikesha Masa, Krishna Paksham, and Amavasya Tithi. So there are no snow events in the calendar. So we should move into our daily Srimad Bhagavatam. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Hare Krishna. So in the Srimad Bhagavatam, so Maitreya Muni, so he is speaking to Vidura, describing the universe creation. So starting from the beginning, so starting from the Pradhana Prakriti and then Mahatattva, and gradually he is describing to Vidura. So in the yesterday session, he was mentioning about Tato Abhavan Mahatattvam Avyaktat Kalachoditat Vijnanatma Atmadehastam Vishwam Vyanjan Tamodajaham. So yesterday he mentioned about the Mahatattva is formed by the Avyakta Kalachoditat. Avyakta Kalachoditat. So by the time influence, and also uh, this is also Bhagavad Virya Choditat. So Kala Choditat, Bhagavad Virya Choditat. We will be seeing the two particular um, influencers. One is the time influence, and the another one is the Lord's influence. Uh, Bhagavad Virya Choditat. So likewise, these two statements keep on coming, because without influence of the Lord's energy and the time, the things would not manifest further in this material world. So he mentioned Tato Abhavan Mahatattvam Avyaktat Kalachoditat Vijnanatma Atmadehastam Vishwam Vyanjan Tamonudaham. So Mahatattva, it has manifested, and then within that Mahatattva, it is the full of all the living entities. So living entities, it is not yet separated. So it is Kotasto Jagad Ankuraha. So it is kind of a gigantic. If we take a fruit, there are seeds are already inside it, or so many seeds. So likewise, it is a Mahatattva. Now today, Maitreya Muni further he's saying, which is the Mahatattva is the Amsha of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and it is mainly with the mode of goodness, mode of ignorance, and by the influence of the Lord's, by by the glance of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that Mahatattva, it manifests into so many other living entities. It manifests into so many other living entities. Likewise, this creation come into the existence with all the living entities. Likewise, Maitreya Muni speaking to Vidura. We are in the Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 5 and verse number 28. सोऽपि अंशगुणकालात्मा भगवद्दृष्टिगोचरः आत्मानं व्यकरोदात्मा विश्वस्यास्यासि सृक्षया. Soऽपि अंशगुणकालात्मा. So this sa is always mentioning the object which is already described in the previous shloka. That is, Tato Abhavan Mahatattvam. So this sa, it is referring to that particular object. So this Mahatattva, Sopi Amsha Gunakalatma. This is also Amsha of the Lord, plenary This is Puksha plenary expansion, Amsha. Gunakalatma, and it is chiefly the quality of ignorance. Kalatma is the duration of time. Amsha Gunakalatma, Bhagavad Drushti Gocharaha. Atma is the Kalatma is the Atma is full consciousness, and Bhagavad Drushti Gocharaha, the personality of Godhead, the range of sight. He glanced on this one, and Atmanam, and many different forms, and Vyakarot, they are differentiated. Atma, Vikarodatma. So he is the reservoir. So Mahatattva is a reservoir of all the living entities by the Bhagavan Drishti Gocharaha. Then what happened? Atmanam Vyakarot. Many living entities they have manifested. Atmanam Vyakarot. They're all manifested or differentiated. Now a fruit which contains all the seeds within it, now it is by the glance of the Lord, it has come into existence, and the seeds separated into different seeds, and then they will go and then do particular functions, each and every seed. Visvasyasya sitrukshaya, Visvasyasya. So the would be entities asya of this Mahatattva, sistrukshaya generates the false ego. Visvasyasya sistrukshaya. So in such a way, this universe come into the existence with all the living entities. So first is the Pradhana, after is the Prakriti, later on Mahatattva. Okay, so this is Sopyam Gunakalatma Bhagavad Drishti Gocharaha Atmanam Vyakarodatma Visvasyasya Sisrukshaya. The translation for this. Thereafter, Mahatattva differentiated itself into many different forms as a reservoir of the would-be entities. The Mahatattva is chiefly in the mode of ignorance, and it generates the false ego. It is plenary expansion of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, with full consciousness of creative principles and a time for fructification. Purport by Srila Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Can I request Prabhavati Mataji if you are available?
So sorry, Prabhuji, I'm just getting ready to go to work.
Sure, Mataji. Okay. Hanuman Mataji, are you available?
Hare Krishna. The Mahatattva is the medium between pure spirit and material existence. It is the junction of matter and spirit wherefrom the false ego of the living entity is generated. All living entities are differentiated parts and parcel of the personality of Godhead. Under the pressure of false ego, the conditioned souls, although parts and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, claim to be the enjoyers of the material nature. This false ego is the binding force of material existence. The Lord again and again gives a chance to the bewildered conditioned souls to get free from this false ego, and this is why the material creation takes place at intervals. He gives the conditioned souls all facilities for rectifying the activities of the false ego, but he does not interfere with their small independence as parts and parcels of the Lord. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. So this is the Mahatattva is the medium between pure spirit and material existence. Okay, so and also here one of the statements in the Vishnu Purana, Vishnu Shakti para prokta kshetra jnakya tata para avidya karma sanyaya tritiya Shakti rishyate. Tritiya Shakti rishyate, the living entities. They are the part and parcel of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is called marginal energy. Tritiya Shakti rishyate. So living entities and Krishna and all the living entities, they belong to the spiritual nature, and material nature is the inferior. The superior nature, inferior nature. But the living entities, they are all marginal. They can choose either they can be part and parcel of to go back to stay with the Lord in the Vaikuntha planet in the spiritual world, or they can come down to the inferior nature. Jiva Bhuta Mahabaho Yedham Dharite Jagat. It is up to their free will. completely free will. And here, when their living entity is coming down to this material world, there, this Mahatattva is the medium between pure spirit and material existence. And they have to come through like that. So it is the junction of matter and spirit where from the false ego of the living entity is generated. This is the false ego. This one, for example, in our material world, for example, if anyone has observed in their home, if they're generally covered men, if they are having sometimes a cow which is giving birth to the baby, so it comes to a particular point within its womb before it gives the birth, so it shows some symptoms that okay, it is ready for the pregnancy. Later on, by the bull, so the cow will become pregnant, and then it will be giving birth to the baby later on after 6 months or so. But sometimes what cows does, it will throw the Maya out of the womb, and then baby does not come. And the people knowingly or unknowingly, they say that it is called Maya. So it is kind of a lump of matter comes from the womb of the cow. So, and then it does not give birth to the baby, but that is called Maya. In the villages, they call that one as Maya. Of course, it is same with the human, even for human beings as well. So that is the place where this living entities takes place, or in the womb. I think this is a particular kind of ingredients are there. So that is the medium for the living entities to take shelter and stay there and come out from the womb of the mother. Okay, so it's a junction of matter and spirit where from the false ego of the living entity is generated. This false ego, again, it is the presiding deity. Full consciousness presiding deity is the Vasudeva, the pure consciousness, and Sankashana, who is the deity for this Ahankara or false ego. Sahasasesham sakshat yam anantam prachakshate Sankarshanakyam purusham bhutendriya manomayam. He is the Lord of called Sankarshana. Sankarshanakyam purusham bhutendriya manomayam. Bhota indriya manomayam. That is the false ego. It influences, I am this body, I am this matter, I am like one identifies himself with the body. So all the living entities are differentiated part and parcels of the personality of Godhead in their real constitutional position. Under the pressure of false ego, the conditioned souls, all the part and parcels of the supreme personality of Godhead, claim to be enjoyer of the material nature. So previously, all these living entities, they are very pure. Yatapam prakritihi paraha. So it is Yattat Sattvam Swachatvam Syantam Bhagavataha Padam. Syantam Bhagavataha Padam. That's all these living entities, they are very pure. Vruttibihi Lakshanam Proktam. The symptom of this living entity is Vruttibihi Lakshanam Proktam Yatapam Prakritihi Paraha. And apam, so when the rain comes, before it touches the ground, it is so pure. And as soon as it touches the ground, it will become dirty water. So likewise, the consciousness is very pure before it come into the matter, and as soon as it come in contact with the nature, it will be again, it will contaminated consciousness. So this under the pressure of the false ego, the conditioned souls. So here the Mahatattva is acting as the living entities put up into the Mahatattva. Now they are in the ignorance. So the condition under the pressure of the false ego, the conditioned souls, all the part and parcels of the supreme personality of Godhead, claim to be the enjoyer of the material nature. So it is they're forced. And this false ego is the binding force of material existence. Binding force of material existence. You must act in that particular capacity. I have born in this home. I must act like a father. I must act like a son. I must act like a daughter. By having a woman body, I cannot act like a man. I cannot go outside and do like a manly things. And if I am a man, I have to act like a man, not like a woman. So likewise, a girl, a daughter, a father, a mother, or a spiritual mother, they have to act according to their constitutional position. It is by force, binding force. And the Lord again and again gives a chance to the bewildered conditioned souls to get free from this false ego, and that is why the material creation takes place at intervals. So this is the Lord says again and again this Bhutagramam idam Krishnam avasham. So automatically it will be create and destroy and maintain for some time for living entities to complete their tasks that coming achieving the perfection of human life. Otherwise, they will be back again into this material nature. Otherwise, if everything is at only, if dharma is already stable and calm and good all the time, peaceful, living entities, they do not want it to go out of this world. Unless there is time is running out and things are going worse, unless such kind of things are there is no other force for the living entity to come to Krishna consciousness. If everything is going very good, if the world is the peace in this world, it is increasing, goodness is increasing, then the living entity, he is very happy in this world. Okay, everything, all comforts are there, everything is happy, and then he will stay back. That's why we have got Kruta Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, Kali Yuga. Gradually, Dharma declines. The peace of the world declines gradually. Otherwise, there is no other force for the living entity to come Vyavasayatmaka Buddhi, to come to Krishna consciousness. Because there is a force. Krishna always reminds that this place is Dukkhalayam Ashashvatam. Otherwise, he would be trapped in this material world, in the prison of this is Durga fort. He cannot be escaped at any point of time. So for this purpose, again, this creation takes place and then maintained for some time, and likewise, it keeps going on. This is again Samasrita Yehe Padapallava Palavam Mahat Padam Punya Yesho Murarehe Bhavam Buddhi Vacha Padam Param Padam Yad Vipadam Natesham Bhavam Buddhi Vacha Padam Param Padam. For the devotees, it is like a Bhavam Buddhi Vacha Padam. So this material essence, this huge essence or version of this material world, like it will be turning like a small version, which is like a water in the uh, calf hoof prints that can be easily crossed. Otherwise, it is padam yad vipadam na tesham. It is so much of every moment there is a danger. Padam yad vipada, so many difficulties. Na tesham, it is not for the devotees of the Lord. Devotees, it is mahat padam punya yeshu murarehe. That is the mahat padam for the devotees. Otherwise, there is no force. If living entities would stay back here, okay, things are going good. Um, like there are many other statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Lord gives the conditioned souls all facilities for rectifying the activities of the false ego, but He does not interfere with their small independence as part and parcels of the Lord. He gives the conditioned souls all facilities for rectifying the activities of the false ego. It is for rectification. One has to understand that I am not this body, I am a spirit soul. And sometimes when devotees think, oh, Prabhuji, I do not have enough time to come to the Sangha, I do not have enough time to read the Krishna Katha, to book Bhagavad Gita or Bhagavatam, I do not find because they are bound by this force. So this is, here Prabhupada is describing here, it is a binding force. The false ego is the binding force of the material existence. Unless they come into Vaishnavas association and trying to say, if Vaishnavas are saying something like that, Prabhuji, would you like to do take this service? If they're taking that, yes, then Lord will arrange it because they have taken that word from other Vaishnavas and spiritual masters and gurus because they have agreed it. What is the most essential thing is agreeing to that principle, agreeing to the word of the spiritual master. That is very essential. Otherwise, if they say, "Oh, I am not available, I have got some kind of thing," that is the binding force of this material world because you are entangled there. Somewhere or other, if we say yes, it doesn't matter whatever, then Lord automatically arranges that material nature. Um, Mayam ekam tarantite. So somewhere or other, he will adjust and mitigate this material nature so that other things will take lower priority. Your devotional service takes higher priority. You will be put up into this Vaishnavas association. And then here, Madasarya kata mrushtaha shrinvanti katayanti cha tapanti vivastapanaita madgata chetasaha. You would not experience this, the hardness of this material influence on the living entity. And you would understand what is Maya and what is the Supreme Nature. In both way, you will get the proper full experience of it. Just by what? Agreeing to the words of the spiritual master and Vaishnavas and Gurus likewise. And whatever Krishna says, it is only devotees only repeat the same thing. They do not say anything new. So this is based on time, place, and circumstances. One has to agree to those words. Then they will be freed from the false ego, from the binding force, they will be freed. So that's why all these facilities for rectifying the activities of the false ego, but he does not interfere with their small independence as part and parcels of the Lord. Even whenever Krishna is speaking Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Yetechisi tata kuru. So Krishna gives all transcendental knowledge to Arjuna, but he did not ask him, he did not force him that do only this thing. He did not force. Yetechisi tata kuru. Now I have given all this knowledge to you. You deliberate properly. What is right, what is not right. Do as you wish. Yetechisi tata kuru. And then Arjuna, after deliberating all this message, and then he, because he is a surrendered soul, Karishya vachanam tava, oh my dear Lord, I will do as you have said. Likewise, he agrees to the Lord. So in the beginning, Krishna always saying you have to fight based on your constitutional position, you have to fight, you are a Kshatriya and you are not the body, and your grandfather and all gurus, they are not the body, they are also everyone are living entities, it cannot be killed by anyone, it is eternal. Likewise, in all Sankhya philosophy spoken, Buddhi Yoga spoken, Karma Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Hatha Yoga, Bhakti Yoga is spoken. All these things spoken. All his doubts were Nashto Smoha Smriti Labdha. Nashta Mohaha. Illusion is gone, and then Smriti Labdha, he has got all his intelligence back by the help of the Lord. Tvat prasadan mayachita, by your mercy of Lord, O Achita, O infallible one. Likewise, Arjun, Karishya Bachanam Tava, now I will do as you have said. Because whatever Lord speaks, it is tat Tatkrutam Mati Vaishamyam. It does not have any of selfishness or any of inferior kind of things. It is always transcendental. It is only for our benefit's sake. Okay, so that is the statements of Krishna. So here he does not interfere with their small independence. So again, here one of the statements that Kadma Prajapati, he describes in Srimad Bhagavatam in his prayers to the Lord, Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto, chapter 21, he says, 21. Can I request Saranya Mataji? So, Naitad Bhatadesha Padam Tavetsitam Yanmaya Tanusya Bhota Sukshmam Anugrahaya Astu Api Erhimaya Lasatulasya Bhagwan Vilakchitaham. So, I think okay, this is 20, this sloka, one sloka earlier. So, this is, can I request Saranya Mataji to read if Mataji is available? Okay, if Mataji is not available, Jayad Mataji, would you like to read translation and purport.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Yes, thank you. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. My dear Lord, although it is not your desire, you manifest this creation of gross and subtle elements just for our sensual satisfaction. Let your causeless mercy be upon us, for you have appeared before us in your eternal form, adorned with a splendid wreath of tulsi leaves. Purport. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. It is clearly stated here that the material world is not created by the personal will of the Supreme Lord. It is created by his external energy because the living entities want to enjoy it. This material world is not created for those who do not want to enjoy sense gratification, who constantly remain in transcendental loving service, and who are eternally Krishna consciousness. For them, the spiritual world is eternally existing and they enjoy there. Elsewhere in the Srimad Bhagavatam, it is stated that for those who have taken shelter of the lotus feet of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, this material world is useless because this material world is full of danger at every step. It is not meant for the devotees, but for living entities who want to lord it over the material energy at their own risk. Krishna is so kind that he allows the sense-enjoying living entities a separate world created by him to enjoy as they like, yet at the same time he appears in his personal form. The Lord unwillingly creates this material world, but he descends in his personal form or sends one of his reliable sons or a servant or a reliable author like Vyasadeva to give instruction. He himself also instructs in his speeches of Bhagavad Gita. This propaganda work goes on side by side with the creation to convince the misguided living entities who are rotting in this material world to come back to him and surrender unto him. Therefore, the last instruction of Bhagavad Gita is this: give up all your manufactured engagements in the material world and just surrender unto me. I shall protect you from all sinful reactions. Hare Krishna, Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so that is why he gives all the facilities for rectifying the activities of the false ego, but he does not interfere with their small independence as part and parcels of the Lord. Okay, so this is when the living entity come to this material world, it is in a diseased condition. So one has to cure that disease. So Narada Muni, he speaks, Amayo yasya bhotanam jayate yena surata tadevi amayam dravyam na punati chikichitam. So it will, when a living entity comes to this material world with false ego, which is a diseased condition, Amayo yasya bhotanam, it is called Amaya, diseased. Bhotanam, jayate yena surata, and they take birth in this material world, O Surata, O Vyasadeva. Tadevihi amayam dravyam. Now, because they have come here, they wanted to do some kind of activities, karma, those things. And tadevihi amayam dravyam, na punari chikichitam. If it is that is same thing, engage in the devotional service of the Lord, then that will turn itself as a medicine. And chikichitam, na punari chikicham, it will cure that disease and they'll go back to Godhead. So likewise, he also Prabhupada gives one analogy. If one by drinking so much of milk, whenever it is not that digestible, then if he is given some same milk preparation in the form of a yogurt, and if he is given yogurt, and then his disease will be cured in due course of time, very easily. So likewise, when the living entity is engaged in the karma because of his entanglement, and if the same karma engage in the devotional service, then it will free himself from the entanglement. Okay, so that is called rectification. Change the activities from material perspective to the spiritual perspective. So devotees are very busy, and materialistic people are also very busy. But devotees experience the transcendental happiness, but not the materialistic people. Okay, so that is from Srimad Bhagavatam Ki Jai. We shall move to Srila Prabhupada's daily letter. So today letter to Sudama, November 4th, 1970, Bombay. Okay, can I request any another unallocated devotee to read this letter, please?
Hare Krishna, can I approach?
Yes, Mataji.
My dear Sudama, please accept my blessing. I beg to acknowledge receipt of your letter dated 22nd October 1970, and I have noted the content carefully. I am glad that you and Bali Mardhan Prabhu have had a chance to be together and have planned jointly one center in Hong Kong. That is what I wish to see from the GBC member, that they work combinedly to open as many centers as possible all over the world. I am very hopeful for the GBC that you will work in such a way that I may be completely uh, completely revealed from all management of this society. Now I want to simply begin translating. Here I am situated in a temple of Sitaram in a nearby suburb of Bombay. The atmosphere is very, very relaxing, such as I have not found anywhere else in India thus far. So in every way, it is very conducive to my translating work and beginning today I will spend all my time translating Tamala Krishna and Sam Sundara are here with me as my liaison officer, and the rest of the GBC member are spread all over the world. So please work closely together and do everything in cooperation. Please send me immediately 10 copies of Japanese BTG as soon as they are printed by Dayal Nippon. You can send them to the Marine Drive address. Thank you very much for your check for $45 for my maintenance fund. Please offer my blessing to your good wife Chintamani and to all the other good Tokyo Prabhus. I hope you are well and jolly. Your ever well wisher A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai. Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely read. Any takeaway points, Mataji, you want to highlight from this letter?
I'm sorry. Yeah, it's just Prabhupada is saying that he, to open the jointly center in Hong Kong. He is mentioning to the Sudama that it was jointly they have opened the Hong Kong center, and Prabhupada is very pleased. And then he's also saying that this way, this way I want to see GBC open as many center as possible, all over the world. Um, And now Prabhupada wants to simply translating for his books. So he just want time to translating his book, and then he just found he was doing his translating one of the Sitaram temple in Bombay, and he was saying it's very comfortable and nice place to do his translating. Um, and then he said he will spend his time to do translating with with help by Lias with Tamala Krishna and Samsundara Das. Uh, mm, yeah, and the rest of the CBC member will all over the world so everything cooperation, and if they will do everything work cooperatively nicely, so and then he also requesting to have 10 copies Japanese BTG, and so they can be printed by Dayal Nippon, and then he just give it his address where to send this. And then he was also thinking that there was $45 for his send back for his maintenance fund, and and he's giving blessing to his wife Lintamani, and so thank you. Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nicely explained and summarized this letter. Okay, any other comments, dear devotees? You wanted to highlight any point which is touching your heart? Okay, that is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. Prabhupada was trying to engage completely himself in the translating. So that is what he was expecting. This management can be done by all his disciples. So he is expecting to be completely relieved from all management of the society. Simply begin translating for the giving the purports. So translations, or many of the translations, under guidance of Prabhupada disciples have using those dictionaries. They have translated, but purports are given by Srila Prabhupada. I think it is 10th canto, 13 or 14 chapters. So we could see all Prabhupada's statements until that point of time. But later on, Srila Prabhupada's disciples, they have continued from there. I think that 13 or 14 chapter onwards. I think this is, we could see there is another website, it's a Prabhupada books like that. It is only completely Srila Prabhupada's. Okay, this one it comes like this, srilaprabhupadabooks.com. In this one, yes, so here in the Srimad, in the books, these are the books Srila Prabhupada has compiled, like Easy Journey, Nectar of Instruction, Krishna, and many other from the Srimad Bhagavatam perspective. Only 10th canto, and then 10th canto, how many chapters? 13 chapters. Yes. He did up to 13 chapters. But later on, Srila Prabhupada disciples have taken that work and then carried. Prabhupada mission was to complete all this translation work. So that's why he was asking, I wanted to be relieved from all the management of the service. Okay, but Prabhupada has got most of it. Okay, that is from this Prabhupada's letter.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Sorry, may I ask a question, please?
Yes, Mataji.
I'm sorry, I didn't get that. So the purports were written by Prabhupada for all the cantos. And for canto 10, when he reached up to about 13, afterwards it was written by somebody else.
Yes.
I mean, his disciples. Okay, so 11 and 12 cantos are written by somebody else, and Chaitanya Charitamrita as well.
This Chaitanya Charitamrita, I think Prabhupada has did that one.
Okay.
But
Krishna book is written by Prabhupada.
yes, Krishna book is written by Srila Prabhupada because it was taking time for Srimad Bhagavatam to print. So Prabhupada immediately, in order to get this 10th canto, completely done to release in the beginning itself. So he has compiled Krishna book before Srimad Bhagavatam.
So that discover everything, isn't it?
Yes,
Can
it covers
contain.
everything. So Prabhupada's disciples, they have taken the mood of this Krishna book and they have given the summaries and also taken the mood of so many other purports as well. And then they have continued this within the same mood of Srila Prabhupada, all those purports as well. That's why we do not see much difference between those purports and Srila Prabhupada's purports.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you. That is from Srila Prabhupada's letter. Any other updates, dear devotees?
Sorry, I just want to ask, this from the Bhagavad we just read from Bhagavad Gita. So like conditional soul, like in a false ego. So it's only for the human being, not for other living entity, isn't it? It apply.
It is for all the materially embodied, they have to act like if a cat, it has to do only moving, mewing, and then dog only barking. Likewise, they have to act like that. They're forced, but they do not have any free will. But human, he has got a free will to do it, but he has got a mind. Yat sankalp vikalpabhyam vartate kama sambhavaha. And he can change his path. He can understand, inquire, who am I, why I am here, like that. And here, if he has got a free will, whether I can do it or not, it is up to him. But whereas the living animals, they have to work in their own way. That is the difference.
But they cannot get like sin or karma or anything like that.
They do not get any sin.
Like karma or anything.
Yes, they
So
do
how
not
they
get any
get a
sin,
next birth?
and also those living, for example, the animals, they are used in the devotional service of the Lord. They will be liberated.
Okay, so how they use, like sometimes they listen the katha and like sitting there and like that. How then can they get the devotion service?
Living it, for example, if we take the elephant,
Mm-hmm.
yes, so this elephant, for example, in all the temples, they maintain these elephants to take the Lord on top of the elephant,
Yes.
and they only feed the elephant. And elephant does not have to struggle for its maintenance. Ahara nidra bhayamaitunam cha. It does not have to struggle. So it is maintained by some temple authorities itself. And it does not experience all the mm, like going to the forest and just doing all these things for struggling. It does not have to do it because it is depending on the Lord and engaged, and its life is perfect, engaged in the service of the Lord. Likewise. And likewise, all other animals, if they're also engaged like that, they will also get liberation very easily. That's why the Brahma also mentions one of the statements of Srimad Bhagavatam. It described, let me just show that one. Animal also will be Tridighnapi kimusadharanaye. Even what to speak of anything, even the animals. I think it is second canto, chapter 7. I think shloka number 41. Here he describes 8, 7, 41. Okay, so not that. 42. So Tevai Vidanti Atitaranti Devamayam Stri Sudrashona Sabrapi Papa Jivaha. Yadadbhutakrama-parayana-sela-shikshaha Tiryak-janapi kimusudharanaye. Tiryak is the animal beings. And let me just bring, this is the shloka. It is 46. Sir, would you like to read this translation, Mataji?
Yeah, okay. Krishna. Surrender soul, even from groups leading sinful lives, lives such as women, the laborer class, the mountaineer, mountaineers, and the Siberians, all even the bird and the beast, can also know about the signs of Godhead and become liberated from the clutches of the illusory energy by surrendering unto the pure devotee of the Lord and by following in their footsteps in devotional service. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. So here, this is even the birds and beasts can also know about the signs of Godhead and become liberated from the clutches of the illusory energy by surrendering unto the pure devotees of the Lord and by following in their footsteps in devotional service. This is when the animals are engaged in the service of the Lord. So devotees engage them. They know, for example, in the Bhaktivedanta manner, so bulls are there, and then there is a festival is also there. I think what is that festival? Uh, in such a way, those animals are engaged, taking them and then bringing them, doing Hare Krishna bhajan. Likewise, somewhere or other. So likewise, they will also get a chance for liberation.
But they are the fortune one. Not every.
Yes,
Maybe
they
they
do not have
didn't.
to. That is one thing. They do not have to struggle for existence, and devotees maintain them nicely.
Yeah, but they have done some karma or something. Otherwise, how only particular animal only get that chance? Not everybody. So they have done something previous, but something pious activity or something. Right. What-
Yes, yeah, they might have done some pious work. There was one person, so when I was in office working, so if I become a dog, I do not mind. One person was saying, so I just immediately remembered when one of the person, when the Srila Prabhupada's time, he was also mentioning, I don't mind to become a dog. And Prabhupada is mentioning, look at this, how fallen the souls are. So they do not want to hesitate to go into the doggish body. Of course, if they get the dog body, if the dog, if it becomes a street dog, what is its course? What is its fate? They do not understand. They did not think of it. They by looking at many people thinking that looking at the dogs, oh, these dogs are enjoying in their master's home like that. And the dog is also very happy, and the master is also happy. Master become a dog, dog become a master. That is the materialistic world. Yesterday I was seeing that message. Dog is a master, and master is he just even cleans the stool of a dog. So that's why who is master? Dog is the master. They will enjoy in this material world. Okay, but they are not liberated. Their entanglement, they're in the sense gratificatory things. So this is called useless struggle for existence, or not all difficult for willing candidate. Not at all. But they are very difficult for persons who are not surrendered souls, but only simple profitless speculators. So one would experience this the fruit of devotional service in the later ages. Maybe once they cross 50 years, then gradually they will relish and experience those fruits. Maybe in the later on they will slowly get retirement from the materialistic responsibilities. Then they will relish more and more. It will keep on growing. It will never decrease. Even their all bodies on does not work and still on the bed, still they can read it and see it, see the Lord, read it, associate with the devotees, take prasadam as much as possible. They will relish later on. They do not feel the bodily pains. Tapanti vividastapa naitan madgata chetasaha, naetan madgata chetasaha. All of their activities surrendered unto me. Because of that, my bhaktirhi bhotanam amritatvaya kalpate. It is nectarian for all the living entities. Amritatvaya kalpate. So they do not experience any of these materialistic pains. But materialistic people who are not devotees, and during the last stages of their times, they will be going through the hospitals, going so many surgeries. So many things. And Parivitaha Parashojadbihi Parivitam Sobandhubihi Vachyamanu Nabrute Kalapasha Vasham Gataha. Their body is already Kalapasha Vasham Gataha. Came under the influence of time. That body does not work. It cannot speak. Even though he wanted to speak, he cannot speak. He wanted to eat, he cannot eat it. He want and likewise so many things. Vachyamano Pinna Brute Kalapasha Vasham Gataha. He cannot say Hare Krishna at the last stage because he has not done any austerities or penances, not chanted japa. He did not follow any rules and regulations like that. And surrendering by that his family members, he is crying and leaves the body. That is very pitiable condition. Okay, but that is materialistic life. Go through so many surgeries, so many things. They wanted to maintain their life force within the body itself. That is that purpose. It is not for engaging themselves in the Krishna consciousness. Okay, so that is how the living entities. That is called the false ego, is binding force of the material existence. Hare Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. Next slide.
Thank you, Mataji. Any other updates? Otherwise, we shall move to the next part of our session. Shri Brahma Samhita.
Let's see. So Mahatattva is also false ego. So it's given by God himself, isn't it? Yeah.
Sorry, Mataji, could you please repeat?
Sorry, so like Mahatattva, like here, which is also, which is a false ego was given, but because of the free will, everybody get.
Yes, Mahatattva is one state and it is also an Amsha of the Lord. So here, just look, I was just asking this chat GPT to put all these statements in a gradual step by step. I was asking, so kindly explain about the Pradhana, Prakriti, Mahatattva, three material modes of nature, all other material and subtle elements and transcendental elements, step by step with pictures in understandable way for a layman. Okay, so this is it is giving. So Purusha is consciousness, Prakriti, and then Mahat. This is at individual Ahankara. And then for the Sattva, Tamasic, three material modes of nature, again from the mind. This is cognitive senses, Jnanendriyas, and then Rajasic, it is coming the Karmendriyas, speaking, those things, and then subtle elements, five gross elements, like that. Okay, this is few things.
You have requested, your name is here, Hare Krishna.
Yes, so this is Pradhana, and then Mahavishnu's glance and that, and then Prakriti comes into the picture here, and then Mahatattva, and then their Ahankara, Buddhi, Manaha, mind, and then further gross five elements, 10 senses, Virapa, cosmic body. Okay, this is one of the statement. And what about this? I asked it to make a pictures to understandable in a way. So this is the top Purush being, and okay, there are many things. Let us see what else. So here it mentions the Pradhana is the first part, that is again unmanifest. Pradhana is the undifferentiated, subtle total of inert material energy with three gunas, Sattva, Rajas, Tama, in a perfect balance. In this state, nothing is manifest. Okay, the material world does not act or evolve. That is Pradhana. That is primordial matter or unmanifest. This is called Pradhanam Prakritim Prahuhu Avisheshim Visheshavat. Next is the Prakriti. Material nature is the manifested state but undifferentiated. It is not yet expanded further. It is Prakriti. And then this again description is given here. And then after that, Mahatattva is the great principle or the cosmic intellect. Mahat is the first differentiated principle evolving Prakriti It marks the beginning from and the order, cosmic intellect. This is unalloyed goodness. Prabhupada was mentioning unalloyed goodness in the previous shloka. And it is ready for the creation. Okay, this is Mahatattva. Again, this Chat GPT Prabhuji is describing again further Bhagavad Gita 14.3. Tasam Brahma Mahadjonir Aham Bija Pradah Pita. Mahadjonir. So this is again Mahatattva. The Lord injects all the living entities. Aham Bija Pitah Prada. The seed of living entities. And later on, it's the great Brahman also. Tasam Brahma. It is called Tasam Brahma Mahadjonir. And which the 24 elements emerge. That is Mahatattva. Later on, the 24 material ingredients from the Mahatattva forms Ahankara and mind and Jnanendriyas, Karmendriyas, Tanmatras. This is Ahankara mind, where is Chittam and mind, intelligence. These two are not mentioned here. And that also it is giving Jnanendriyas, 5 Jnanendriyas, 5 Karmendriyas, or this is Karmendriyas are speech, hands, feet, external or generative functions, 5 Tanmatras, and then 5 Mahabhutas. 22 plus there are 2 other things as well. Ahankara, Manaha plus Mano, Buddhir, Ahankara, Chittamiti, Antaratmakam. These are the 4 of the subtle elements. 24 plus the time influence. Okay, but it did not give it is having, there is a little bit of gap in this particular statement. But we could use ChatGPT for most of it, but we need to be very sensible of it. And then 3 material modes of nature is Sattva, Rajaha, Tamaha. And then further, transcendental entities. This is Brahman, Jiva, time. Krishna describes this one in the Bhagavad Gita. And visual recap refer to the images above. So it is describing Sankhya philosophy. Okay, likewise, it is describing wherever it is possible, we can use it, not completely depending on it. We need to go through the database, but this is I have asked it to just describe from the Krishna's perspective, Krishna consciousness. It shows some pictures like that. Pradhana Prakriti Mahatattva. And I asked it just to please quote me with the Sanskrit references like Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, Brahma Samhita as per ISKCON and Srila Prabhupada instructions. Then it has given these statements. Okay, these are authenticative statements from Bhagavatam. Okay, so it is from Mahatattva, differentiate itself. So it is one level of that entire cosmic creation.
A bit complicated and difficult to understand, but yeah, thank you, Prabhuji. Nicely explained.
Yes, so that's why Sukadeva Goswami, he mentions that in the second canto, it is all this cosmic creation and maintenance, destruction, and all these things. It is for the philosophers or mental speculators or who are interested in those matters, but it is not for the devotees. Devotees are desired for more than this, for the transcendental bliss. These small things, just getting doing all these things, it is not. They wanted to participate in the learning exchanges between the Krishna and his devotees, the pastimes, the Rasa Leela, Mellos are there, where the real love takes place. How does the real love takes place? Again, that goes transcendentally and eternally. So this one, it is also described here, and 10th canto, chapter 10, where he mentions. So ittam bhavena kanto bhagavan bhagavattamah na ittam bhavena hi param drashtumarhati sorayah. So here he mentioned the great transcendentalist thus describe the activities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, but the pure devotees desire to see more glorious things in transcendence beyond these features. That is for the devotees. Otherwise, studying and going to the office, getting money, and how to build up and prepare everything else, that is not the essential thing. But essential thing is the loving relationships between the father and mother, father and children, mother and the children, how they are cooperating so harmoniously and lovingly engaged all in one particular objective. Do they all have got one central objective in the home, and everyone have got the love when they're speaking in their words, are doing things and cooperating? That is the essential thing. And whether all of those things connected to Krishna, that is the most important thing. The devotees desire to see more glorious than this pradhana, prakriti, mahatattva, ahankara, gunas, trigunas, because automatically when they're engaged in the devotional service, everything, mamcha yo abhicharanya, bhak, um, bhakti yogena sevate, sagunan samatite kyan brahma bhuyaya kalpate, automatically they will be transcending to these three material modes of nature when they're engaged in the devotional service. That is pure devotees. They wanted to see more glorious things in the transcendence beyond these features of the Lord. So this is again, one must be first of all go through the studies, and then initially some people think that, oh, I feel this somewhere or other I want to do devotion service. That is good, but not on the sentimental things. If it is sentimental things, you do not share initially with everyone else. You need to keep it with yourself. But once you go through all the Vidhi Bhakti, later on, still you are having the same mood. Later on, you can share later on in the later ages, in the fructification state. At the time, you share with all others, not in the beginning states. I feel I want to do it. It does. I do not know why I'm feeling like that. So some devotees they express like that. That first of all, that cannot be shared with others like that, those feelings in the initial stages of devotional life. Once they go through the Viri Bhakti, following regulative principles, chanting the 16 rounds, waking up early in the morning, and then later on, once they are going through that process, then the Bhakti, it matures, then whatever the feelings you have got at that particular point of time, then you can share all those things. Yes, this is what I have seen philosophically and also transcendentally. I experienced this. Then they can share. This is how the Lord has manifested in my life all these activities, so that my life became perfect. Then they can share it, but not at the same thing in the initial stages. That is kind of a not an immature state. Prabhupada mentions, or Rupa Goswami mentions in the Bhakti Rasamrita Sindhu. So those are not yet matured. So we need to wait until we go through the Vidhi Bhakti, following the rules and regulations. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, if you're all happy, then we shall move to our Shri Brahma Samhita. Um, okay, so in the Shri Brahma Samhita, in the last session, last Saturday, we have seen the first shloka. Can I request all devotees to recite this particular shloka? Okay, starting with Gauranga Mataji, Jayaved Mataji, Meena Mataji, Usha Mataji. Okay. Just only one recitation. Gauranga Mataji, would you like to do?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Is this Sloka Prabhuji?
Yes, Mataji.
Okay. Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadiradir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Can I request David Mataji, please?
Hare Krishna, yes, thank you. Ishvara Paramaha Krishna Satchidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govindaha Sarva Karana Karanam. Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful. Thank you, Mataji. Meena Mataji, please.
ईश्वर परमा कृष्ण सच्चिदानंद विग्रह अनादिर आदिर गोविंद सर्व कारण कारणम.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Vishnu Mataji, please.
Hare Krishna. ईश्वरः परमः कृष्णः सच्चिदानन्दविग्रहः अनादिरादिर्गोविन्दः सर्वकारणकारणम्.
Would you like to read the translation as well, Mataji?
Yes, please. Krishna, who is known as Govinda, is the supreme Godhead. He has an eternal, blissful spiritual body. He is the origin of all. He has no other origin, and he is the prime cause of all causes. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. Okay, so that is the shloka. In the last session, we have gone through the purport as well. It has got some tricky words, but Krishna is the supreme personality. Ishvaraha Paramaha. Paramaha Krishnaha. So Parama, wherever we see the Parama, it mentions that it is addressing the Lord beyond this material nature. We also call Paramannam. Whenever food is offered to the Lord, there is a Paramannam, very sweet rice. It is offered to the Lord. Paramannam, Paramaha Krishnaha, Parama Anandam, Paramanandam. This is the happiness transcendental. Paramas transcendent. Yeshwaraha Paramaha Krishnaha, the Lord controller who is Krishna, is beyond this material nature, and his body Sat Chit Ananda. Sat is eternal, absolute, and then Chit is the complete knowledge, Ananda is the all happiness, Ananda Vigraha is the form of the Lord. Anadihi Adihi Govindaha. He does not have any beginning, and he is the beginning himself. Govindaha. And he is the called Govinda, Sarvakarana Karanam, cause of all causes. Okay, so in that purport, we have seen all those things. We shall move to the next shloka. It is describing about the Goloka Vrindavan, about the abode of Krishna. Okay, so shloka goes like this. Sahasrapatra Kamalam Gokulakyam Mahatpadam Tad Kanyakaram Tad Dhama Tad Anantasha Sambhavam Anantamsha Sambhavam Anantamsha Sambhavam. Okay, so Sahasrapatra Kamalam is the possessing 1,000 petals. So whenever Sahasra is used, it contains not exactly 1,000 petals. It is addressing innumerable. Sahasra Patra Kamalam, Patra Kamalam, and thousands of petals. And Kamalam, a lotus flower, Gokulakim, known as Gokula. Mahatpadam, and that supreme, super excellent station, Mahatpadam. Tat Karnikaram, and of that lotus, Karnikaram, the whorl, the middle part of that lotus is the called whorl. Tat Karnikaram, Tad Dhama, of his Krishna's Dhama, the abode of the Lord. That is that Gokula. Ananta, of his plenary aspect Balarama, Ananta Amsha from the part, Sambhavam, it is produced. So this is abode of the Lord is generally it is Balarama's expansion. When all dhamas, wherever the dhamas are there, they are Balarama's expansion. And all these kshetras, the Lord Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. Dhama, it is representing Balarama expansion. And Kshetrapala is Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva is the Kshetrapala. Wherever you see Vaishnava Kshetras, there Kshetrapalaka, the god of that Kshetra is Lord Shiva. In the Vrindavana, we have got Gopishwar Mahadev, Kameshwar Mahadev, and then Chakaleshwar Mahadev. Likewise, he is Lord Shiva's functions like that. He takes part in the Lord's pastimes. सहस्रपत्रकमलं गोकुलाख्यं महत्पदं तत्कन्निकारं तद्धाम तद् अनंतांश संभवम्. Okay, so that is translation. And how big is that? So there are two big paragraphs and translation. So can I request one devotee to read the translation and first paragraph of the purport? Another devotee read the second paragraph of the purport. Usha Mataji, would you like to read the translation and the purport, Mataji? First paragraph of the purport, and then
Yes,
Dorindi Mataji would read the second paragraph.
Okay, Prabhu. Thank you. The spiritual place of transcendental pastimes of Krishna is portrayed in the second verse. The super excellent station of Krishna, which is known as Gokula, has thousands of petals and a coral like that of a lotus sprouted from a part of his infinitary aspect. The role of the leaves being the actual abode of Krishna. Perfect. Perfect by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada teacher. Gokula, like Goloka, is not a created mundane plane, unbounded character forms the display of his unlimited potency and his propagating manifestation. Baladeva is the mainstay of the energy. The transcendental entity of Baladeva has two aspects, viz. Infinite spiritual manifestation and infinite accommodating space for insentient gross things. The unequivocal delineation of material universe will be dealt within the proper place. The triquadrantal extension of the transcendental infinity field of the Almighty, unlimiting and non-perceiving and non-apprehending unlimited situation of halo, which are fully spiritual majestic foliation. This very majestical extension portrays the manifested lofty rich feature uh, of the vaster unlimited region of greater atmosphere which has its resplendent location wholly beyond the realm of mundane nature. On the future, on the further shore of a Virija, surrounded by the halo of Brahma or indistinguishable entity. This majestical power of unlimited spirit animates on the upper portion of the luminous sphere into the most charming Gokula or eternally existing Goloka, extinguishing exis- exceedingly beautified by the assorted display of effulgence. Some designate this region as the abode of the Supreme Narayana or the original fountainhead. Hence, Gokula, which is identical with Goloka, is the supreme plane. The same sphere shines as Goloka
and Gokula, respectively, by its upper or transcendental and lower or mundane situation. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji.
Sorry, Prabhu, it was little bit that bit hard words to pronounce.
Yeah, if there are new
Thank you.
words are coming, and that's all right, Mataji. Thank you so much. Can I request Garingi Mataji, would you like to read the second paragraph, Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Okay. Sri Sanatana Goswami has told us as follows in his Brihad Bhagavata, which embodies the final essence of all the books of instruction. He displays his pastime here is this land as he is used to do in Goloka. The difference between the two plants lies only in their location as a high and a low. That is, in other words, Krishna plays externally um, the same part in Goloka as he uh, exhibits on the uh, mundane plan of Goloka. There is particularly no difference between Gokula and Goloka, save that this what exists in the shape of Goloka in the upper region is the same as Goloka on the mundane plan when Krishna showed his virus activities there. Sri Jiva Goswami has also included in inculcated the same in the Bhagavad Sandarbha of his six treatises to accretain the plan of Goloka. Vrindavan is the eternal abode of Krishna, and Goloka and Vrindavana are identically one. And third, both are identical, yet Krishna's inconceivable energy has made Goloka and Akam, uh, Akami of this spiritual kingdom, and Gokula of Mathura province, forming a part of the mundane plan, which is also a manifestation of triquedarnatal Bhi- Bhihuti, conducting majesty. Poor human understanding cannot possibly make out how the extensive triquedarnatal, which is beyond human comprehension, comprehension can be accommodated in the limited nether material universe of a uniquedantal disclosure. Gokula is a spiritual plan. Hence has uh, yeah, plan. Hence his condescended position in the region uh, of material space, time, etc., is in no way restricted but unlimitedly manifested with his full boundless property 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 property. But conditioned souls are apt to accept a material uh, conception in regard to Gokula by their miserable sense so as to bring him below the level of their intelligent thoughts, uh, thought the eyes of an observer is impacted by a cold when gazing at the sun and thought the tiny cloud can never really cover the sun. Still, the clouded vision apparently apparently observed the sun as covered by the cloud in just the same way the conditioned soul with their obscured intelligence, sense, and decisions accept Gokula as a piece of uh, mensurable land. We can see Gokula from Goloka, which is eternal. This is also a my mystery, the attainment of final beauty is the success in attaining one's eternal self. The success in identifying the true self is finally achieved when the screen of gross and subtle coils of conditioned souls is removed by the sweet will of Krishna. However, the idea of Goloka is seen in differ from Gokula till the success in unalloyed devotion is achieved. The transcendental plan of infinite spiritual manifestation having thousands of petals and corolla like those of the lotus is Gokula, the eternal abode of Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Jai.
Mistake Prabhuji, sorry.
Thank you, Mataji. Very nicely read. A very long purport, but it is very
Yes.
nice, Mataji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Okay, so this is the lotus petal. This is whatever we see. It has got so many, the pink, these are all lotus petals in the pink color. And in the middle, this is called the yellow part. It is the wall. This is Karnikaram. This Tat Karnikaram, Tad Anantamsha Sambhavam. This is the abode of the Lord. Again, there are, if you see, look at the here, there is a quadrangle here. Sorry, this is what it is described Shatkonam Vajrakelakam in the 6 angles. Shatkonam 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, bottom and yeah, 6. Shatkonam Vajrakelakam. This is the Krishna support. He enjoys in the middle. Here, if you look at, there is a tiny pictures here further. So just going into a little bit deeper. Okay, so here Krishna and Radharani, they're all performing their eternal pastimes at one side of this, the Karnikaram. Another side is some portion of it is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his associates. It is also, Navadvipa is also part of that Karnikara. And here Kalparuksha is there. So again, Divya Vrindharanya Kalpatarudramadaha, where Lord performs all his pastimes. And there, Srimad Ratnaghara Simhasanastau Tatastitaha. So on the golden throne, the Lord is along with Radharani, served by all other gopis. The gopis like the Lalita, Vishaka, Suchitra, Induleka, Champakalata, Rangadevi, Tungavidya, Sudevi, and the Lalita. So these are all 8 gopis. They serve. Even though they are serving Radha Krishna personally, but they do have got their own petals there. Okay, like if you go to the Vrindavanam, where Barsana is there, Radharani, and then Lalita's village and Vishaka village, and their villages are a little bit different. So Vrindavanam is the center of it, where Krishna resides. And so there is beautiful pastimes again. And this is the first primary petals, and the next level of petals, the manjaris. There are Rupa Goswami, Rati Manjari, Rupa Manjari, and Lavanga Manjari, and then Manjulali Manjari, Raga Manjari, and then this is what is that one? This is Kasturi Manjari, Guna Manjari, Vilasa Manjari. These are all Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, Lavangam Manjari, Sanatana Goswami, Rati Manjari, I think Raghunath Bhatta Goswami, something like that. Manjulali, it is Lokanath Goswami, and then Kasturi Manjari is Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami. Vilasa Manjari is Shri Jiva Goswami, like that. And then Raghunath Das Goswami. So these are all 6 Goswamis, and they're all Manjaris. Again, further there are further levels of petals, where each and every petal, the Lord and his devotees, they're taking performing pastimes. These are all in different petals. Okay, so coming back to this one to describe about what it is described here. In the shloka, it is mentioned Sahasra Patra Kamalam Gokulakyam Mahatpadam. That central part is the Gokulakyam Mahatpadam. Tat Karnikaram, Tad Dhama, Tad Anantamsha Sambhavam. Okay, so also can I request all devotees try to recite this shloka? Each devotee recite 3 times. Okay, as the flow goes through, Gaurangi Mataji, Jayaved Mataji, Meena Mataji, and Usha Mataji. Recite the shloka 3 times. Gaurangi Mataji. If Mataji is not available, Jayaved Mataji.
Thank you. Yes, Hare Krishna. Sahasrapatra Kamalam Gokulakyam Mahatpadam Tat Karnikaram Tad Dhama Tad Anantam Sashambhavam. No, think, yeah. Sahasrapatra Kamalam Gokulakyam Mahatpadam Tat Karnikaram Tad Dhama Tad Anantam Sambhavam. Sahasrapatra Kamalam Gokulakyam Mahatpadam Tat Karnikaram Tad Dhama Tad Anantam Sambhavam. Hare Krishna.
Very beautiful. Thank you so much, Mataji. Very nicely recited. Meena Mataji.
Sahasrapatra Kamalam Gokula गोकुलाख्यं महत्पदं तत्र कर्णिकारं तद्धामं तत् अनन्तं ससम्भवम् सहस्रपत्रकमलं गोकुलाकं गोकुलाख्यं महत्पदं तत् कर्णिकारं तद्धाम तत् अनन्तं ससम्भवम् सहस्रपत्रकमलं गोकुलाख्यं महत्पदं तद्धामं तत् अनन्तं ससम्भवम् Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, very beautifully recited. Thank you, Mataji. Usha Mataji, please.
सहस्रपत्रकमलं गोकुलाख्यं महत्पदं तत्कर्णिकारं तद्धाम तदनन्तां ससम्भवम् सहस्रपत्रकमलं गोकुलाख्यं महत्पदं तत्कर्णिकारं तद्धाम तदनन्तं ससम्भवम् सहस्रपत्रकमलं गोकुलाख्यं महत्पदं तत्कर्णिकारं तद्धाम तदनन्तं ससम्भवम् Hare Krishna.
Very nice. Thank you, Mataji. Agaringe Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. Yes. Okay. Sahasrapatra Gokulakam Mahatpadam Tatkaranikaram Tathama Tad Anantam Sambhavam Sahasrapatra Gokulakam Mahatpadam Tatkarnikaram Tadhama Tad Anantam Samabhavam Sahasrapatra Kamalam Gokulakam Mahatpadam Tatkarnikaram Tadhama Tad Anantam Samabhavam. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, very nicely recited. Thank you so much, Mataji. So this is the Sahasra Patra Kamalam. And when someone is asking you about how does the Golok Vrindavana, so you can describe this Sahasra Patra, this particular shloka. Of course, this is one of the shloka. There is further beautiful shlokas comes. Okay, so here Gokula is like a Goloka is not created mundane plane, unbounded character forms, the display of his unlimited potency and his propagating manifestation. Is not a mundane plane, unbounded character. Is not mundane plane. It is unbounded character forms of the display of unlimited potency and his propagating manifestation. Okay, so this one, Baladeva is the mainstay of that energy. So Lord Balarama, he expands as a Dhama. I wanted to go Vrindavan Dham, Madhura Dham, Jagannath Puri Dham, Dwarka Dham. Dhams are all, Baladeva is the mainstay of that energy, Tad Dhama, Tad Anantamsha Sambhavam, by his plenary expansion. The transcendental entity of Baladeva has two aspects, viz. Infinite spiritual manifestation and infinite accommodating space for insentient gross things. So this is spiritual manifestation is the Balarama as a person, a Krishna's brother, and that is one aspect. And another aspect is the infinite accommodating space for insentient gross things. So when in the spiritual abode also, his manifestation is there as the Dhamma. And here in this material world, wherever this Dhammas are, it is Balarama's expansion. And it is also described that Vrindavan Dhamma, it is the in the lotus flower. Entire Vrindavan and also surrounding villages, they are like a lotus flower. And whenever Krishna is taking cows to the forest, at that time, this Vrindavan, this lotus, it just comes like a closing way, the petals closing way. At the time, what happens? The distance will be closer from the point to point. At that time, for Krishna, it is very easier to take for longer distances. Again, whenever the flower is open and with the expansion, again the points from point to point distance increases. So sometimes our acharyas describe when the demons are coming nearer to the Lord, this flower expands, and then it would take lot of time for them to come nearer to Krishna. But whenever Krishna wanted to do this flower, it closes. Whenever he is taking cows to home, it like a in a very it appears that very short distance, taking to all cows to the different forests like a 12 Vrindavana forest, Madhuvana, Kamyakavana, likewise Bahulavana, many other vanas are there. At the time, this lotus flower come closer. It is very short distance for Krishna to take the cows. So this is Balarama wanted to facilitate. This is accommodating space for insentience, gross things. And then the unique quadrantal delineation of material universe will be dealt with in proper place. Okay, unique quadrantal delineation of material universe will be dealt with the proper place, and the triquadrantal extension of the transcendental infinitary field of the Almighty, unlamenting, non-perspiring, and non-apprenting unlimited situations of halo, which are fully spiritual, majestic foliation. So this particular statement is having so many difficult words. So this one, it is describing about if you look at the is that triquadrant describing about the triquadrantal extensions of the transcendental infinitary. So this is completely fully spiritual, majestic foliation. So this is the many words are by Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Goswami. So that's why it is a bit tricky like that. And then further, this very majestical extension portrays the manifested lofty, rich feature of the vaster, unlimited region or greater atmosphere, which has its resplendent location only beyond the realm of the mundane nature. Beyond the realm of mundane. It is not of the material nature. Of course, where is this Goloka Vrindavana, where is Vaikuntha Lokas, and where is material and Virija river, Brahma Jyoti, and then Virija river, and then further all this Mahavishnu and further material universes there. So it is very, very far beyond it. It is not possible for anyone to reach this abode of the Lord. So this one, where Lord enjoys, here in the Chaitanya Charitamrita, one of the statements, it mentions the library. So here Chaitanya Charitamrita, CC Adilila. Okay, there is chapter 4, and then here he chapter 3 Adilila. Paramanande, Parama. Yes, this is Tatsarvopari Goloke Tatra Lokopari Swayam Viharet Paramanandi Govindu Aturnaikaha. So Jiva Goswami, according to Jiva Goswami, Vaikuntha is also called Brahma Loka. The Narad Pancharatra in a statement concerning the mystery of Vijaya describes Tatsarvopari Goloke Tatra Lokopari Swayam Viharet Paramanandi Govindo Atulanayakaha. The predominator of the gopis, Govinda, the principal deity of Gokula, always enjoys himself in a place called Goloka in the topmost part of the spiritual sky. This is tat sarva upari goloke. It is the topmost of all the planets. This one here, it is also described here. The tantras also confirm the description of the stating that abode of Sri Anantadeva, a plenary portion of Baladeva, is called Kingdom of God. Vrindavan Dhama is the innermost abode within the quadrangular realm of Shvetadvipa, which lies outside of the boundary of Gokula Vrindavana. So this is the description of Brahma Samhita only. Here Prabhupada is describing a little bit more. Okay, that is Shvetadvipa comes here, the all white part, which is called, here it is written, Shvetadvipa, which is outside of this Vrindavana. Okay. And then coming to back to the statements here. So this is the yeah, which has its resplendent location wholly beyond the realm of mundane nature or further shore of the Virija. It is very far. So when the living entity comes, one particular state, Brahma Bhutaha Prasannatma na sochiti na kankshati, it is the state of Brahma Jyoti. That is Brahma Bhutaha Prasannatma. To go enter into the Vaikuntha planets and further up in the Goloka Vrindavana, they have to develop that devotional service, the mood, how to associate with the Lord. Okay, then they will be elevated to the one of the Vaikuntha planets or Goloka Vrindavan. The majestical power of unlimited spirit emanates on the upper portion of the luminous sphere into the most charming Gokula or eternally existing Goloka, exceedingly beautified by the assorted display of effulgence. This is assorted display of effulgence. Very beautiful words are used to describe here. And exceedingly beautified by assorted display of effulgence. Some designate this region as the abode of the Supreme Narayana or the original fountainhead. Hence, Gokula, which is identical with Goloka, is a supreme plane. The same sphere shines as Goloka and Gokula, respectively by its upper or transcendental and lower mundane situation. So this is how these are all in the Brahma Jyoti. If you look here, all the Vaikuntha planets, this is actually the blue part. This is the original one. Original in the sense, there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets. Each of these yellow shining ones, like a sun, it is one of the planet of. So out of all these planets, Goloka Vrindavana is on top of this here. And the Lord is everything else. Goloka Vrindavan is also called Vaikuntha Loka. It is also called Vaikuntha, means where there are no miseries. And these are all Vaikuntha planets. There are 24 Vaikuntha planets primarily described, and how the Lord exists in those Vaikuntha planets with different names and having the 4 hands, having their 4 different symbols in different hands formations. They're called Madhusudhana, Madhava, likewise. Okay. Goloka Vrindavan is one of the Vaikuntha planet, but it is the topmost of the all other Vaikuntha planets. And the same sphere shines as Goloka and Gokula respectively by its upper, transcendental, and lower or mundane situation. Okay, so one is in the spiritual planets, and also that same planet is also manifested in this material world, like Atali Vrindavana. That is called again here one of the statement it is mentioned here. या यथा भूवर्तन्ते पुर्यो भगवतः प्रियाः तास् तथा सन्ति वैकुण्ठे तत्तत् लीलाधमाधृताः. The abodes of the Godhead in the material world, such as Dwaraka, Madhura, and Gokula, are facsimiles representing the abodes of the Godhead in the kingdom of God, Vaikuntha Dhama. The unlimited spiritual atmosphere of that Vaikuntha Dhama is far above and beyond the material cosmos. This is confirmed in the Swayambhuva Tantra, in a discussion between Lord Shiva and Parvati regarding the effect of chanting mantra of 14 syllables. There it is stated, Nana Kalpa Latabiki, Nana Kalpa Latabiki, Lata Nana Kalpa Latakednam Vaikuntam Vyapakam Smaret, Adaha Samyam Gunanam Cha Prakritihi Sarvakaranam. So while chanting the mantra, one should always remember the spiritual world, which is very extensive and full of desert trees that can yield anything one desires. Below that Vaikuntha region is the potential material energy, which causes the material manifestation. This is Prakritihi Sarvakaranam. So here in the again coming to the Goloka Vrindavana. So here if you look at the side, it is mentioned here, the topmost one is Goloka Vrindavan. And then further down is coming to the Vaikuntha Dhama. It is written here in the white letters. It is also called Haridhama. And coming down, it is Mahesh Dhama, where Lord Shiva is in his Sadasiva Loka. That is Mahesh Dhama. And further, it is called Devi Dhama. Devi Dhama is the material universe, Durga Devi. It is called Devi Dhama. And this is also described in the Brahma Samhita. Goloka Namni, Nijidamni Taleshitasya, Devi Mahesha Haridamanu Teshu Teshu, one after another. So above Devi Dama, Mahesh Dama, Haridama, like that. On top of it, Goloka. Goloka Damni, Nijidamni Taleshitas. Devi Haridamanu Teshu Teshu. So this is also comes as part of Sri Brahma Samhita. Okay, that one. Okay, we don't go deep into that at this point of time. So this is how they go. Golok is on the top, and here it is also described here about that Dhamma here by. They're also manifested in the earth, earthly past, in the material world, such as Dwaraka, Madhura, and Gokula, are facsimiles representing the abodes of the Godhead. Okay, so I'm coming back here. And further, Sanatana Goswami has told us as follows in his Brihad Bhagavatamrita, which embodies the final essence of all the books of instructions. And he displays his pastimes here in this land as he is used to do in Goloka. So this is, Goloka pastimes are also manifested in this material world. The difference between the two planes lies only in their locations as high and low. One is spiritual planet and one is in the material world, material Vrindavana. That is, in other words, Krishna plays exactly the same part in the Goloka as he exhibits on the mundane plane of Gokula. So like here, we see so many of Krishna's pastimes in the Vrindavana pastimes. Likewise, they are all eternally going on in the eternal in the sense. So here Krishna has got so many petals, Sahasrapatra Kamalam. In this petal, if we just simply observe, in one petal there is Krishna, the Yashoda is playing with Krishna in one petal. Another petal, Krishna is eating butter, and here Krishna is dancing with all the gopis. So again here Krishna and Radharani, and again Damodara Leela, and Krishna showing universe to the Mother Yashoda. Likewise, many other pastimes, and outside this is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu dancing with all his associates. Okay? In each petal, each pastimes, it is going on, and those pastimes are exhibited in the material world as well. So here Krishna plays exactly the same part in Golok as he exhibits on the mundane plane of Gokula. There is practically no difference between Gokula and Goloka, save that this what exists in the shape of Goloka in the upper region is the same as Gokula on the mundane plane when Krishna showed his various activity there. Srila Jiva Goswami also incul- inculcate, inculcated the same in the Bhagavata Sandarbha of his 6 treatises. Okay, that is ye yata bhivartante puryoho bhagavata priyaha तथा सन्ति वैकुंठे तत्र लीलार्धमादृतः लीलार्धम आदृतः लीलार्ध to perform tat leelam leelardham adhritaha to perform those same pastimes in this material world. He descends those spiritual abodes to the material world. And here further explaining to ascertain the plane of Goloka Vrindavana is the eternal abode of Krishna, and Goloka and Vrindavana are identically one, and through both are identical, yet Krishna's inconceivable energy has made Goloka the acme of the spiritual kingdom and Gokula of Madhura province, forming a part of the mundane plane, which is also manifestation of the triquadrantal vibhuti or conducting majesty. Okay, so here this one entire Goloka in this material world, it is also spread even to the Madhura as well. Madhura also come as part of the that lotus flower. But poor human understanding cannot possibly make out how the extensive triquadrantal, which is beyond human comprehension, can be accommodated in the limited nether material universe of a uniquadrantal disclosure. Very typical, very tricky words coming into this one, but still. So what it means is Madhura is also part of that Goloka Vrindavana, which is manifested here in the earth. Okay, so that is when we see here in this one, coming here, how it is described, we see Goloka Vrindavana is there, and then Shwet Dvipa, and then surrounding here, Madhura is here. In the orange color, orange quadrangle, this is Madhura. Outside it, Madhura is Jagannath Puri. Outside of Jagannath Puri is Dwaraka. And then below that, there is Ayodhya. Ayodhya Dama, and below that, Vaikuntha Dama is there. On top of all the Vaikunthas, Ayodhya, on top of it, Dwaraka, on top of it, Jagannath Puri, on top of it, Madhura, on top of it, this is Goloka Vrindavan, the Krishna's, the Karnikaram, the central part of the Goloka, and then all the petals. Okay, so that is how it is being formed. And Gokula is a spiritual plane, hence it is condescended position in the region of material space, time, etc. is nowhere restricted but unlimitedly manifested with its full boundless propriety. So it is a boundless propriety. So something like that it is described. But conditioned souls are apt to assert a material conception in regard to Gokula by their miserable senses so as to bring him below the level of their intellect. So that's why they cannot understand. So the Krishna's Ataha Sri Krishna Namadi na bhavid grahim indriyaihi, by his name, form, qualities, his abode, his everything, it cannot be understood by the material senses, material intelligence. But Sevonmukehi Jihpadu, by the rendering devotional service to Krishna, then Swayameva Spurchadaha, and Krishna and his pastimes, and his abode also will be revealed to those devotees. Okay, that is, but otherwise, people, ordinary people, they think in a foolish way. That is that statement. And though the eye of an observer is impeded by a cloud when gazing at the sun, and though the tiny cloud can never really cover the sun, still the clouded vision apparently observes the sun as covered by the cloud. In just the same way as the conditioned souls with their obscured intelligence, senses, and decisions accept Gokula as a piece of measurable land. But it is inconceivable. It is unlimited, achintya. So Swechavatar Charitaihi Achintya Nijamaya. Achintya is inconceivable they are performed by his internal potency. Swa Icha Avatara Svechavatara Karmaihi. So all his pastimes. Achintya Nijamaya. Swechavatar Charitaihi, the pastimes, the different pastimes. Swechavatar Charitaihi Achintya Nijamaya. Karishiti Uttama Shloka Tad. They are all Karishiti Uttama Shlokaha Tad. So this is described by Narada Muni when he was describing to Dhruv Maharaj. And we can see the Gokula from the Goloka, which is eternal. This is also mystery. The attainment of final beatitude is the success in attaining one's eternal life. The success in identifying the true self is finally achieved when the scene of gross and subtle coils of conditioned souls is removed by the sweet will of Krishna. So this happens, Jarayati Yafya Koshum Nigirna Manalo Yatha. This gross body and subtle body both will be digested. It will be removed by Krishna by the strength of devotional service. So this is Devanam Gunalinganam Anushravika Karmanam Sattva Evaika Manuso Sattva Evaika Manuso Sattva Evaika Manuso. It is described by Kapil Bhagavan in the 29th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, 3rd canto. 25th chapter. Vruttibihi Swabhavikitya. Sattva Evaika Manuso Vruttibihi Swabhavikitya. Animita Bhagavati Gatihi Siddhir Ghariyasi. They will attain the perfection of human life. And then Jarayati Yashya Kosham Nigirna Manaloyata. Ya Kosham is called subtle body. That will also be Nigirnam. It will be digested. It will be removed by the Lord. By the strength of the devotional service, it is digested. And also it is described when giving an analogy. Brahmanas, they generally used arani to lit the fire for the sacrificial things. Whenever they perform fire sacrifice, they do not use matchbox. They use the arani. So arani is a wooden tool. It has got kind of a circular and inside two tools. One is kind of rotating within the another wood. When they are rotating fastly, there is a fire spark comes out of it. That fire spark will be used for the yajnas. So that is called arani, the tool. And if the same thing, it is rotated very fast, the fire which comes from there, it will even also burn the arani itself. The fire spark came and burned even arani itself. In the similar way, when we engage ourselves using this material body, engaging in the devotional service very tivrena bhakti yogena. At the time, manomaya arpitam stiram. At the time, what happens? This body and subtle body also will be digested, like the burnt to the ashes, like the arani is the rotating the arani very fastly, it burns itself, and then just only fire remains. Likewise, living entity, it digests the gross body and material body both by the strength of the devotional service. Tivrena bhakti yogena. So, however, the idea of Gokula, this is what here Prabhupada is, the screen of gross and subtle coils of conditioned souls is removed by the sweet will of Krishna. However, the idea of Goloka is seen to differ from Gokula till the success in unalloyed devotion is achieved. The transcendental plane of infinite spiritual manifestation, having thousands of petals and corolla like those of the lotus, is Gokula, the eternal abode of Krishna. Okay, so this is how the description of Goloka, the center part, it is Karnikaram, and where the majesty of and Krishna's opulences. It is all within the central part. So here, if we go to the Atli Vrindavana, where we see Krishna's Vrindavana, main temples, the 6 temples are there. Krishna's main temples around the different villages. They're all connected. It is not all at one particular place. We have to go to the Barsana village and then Gokula, and Gokula is in the nearer to Madura. So Madura is also coming. So for example, if we try to approximately imagine, even though it is inconceivable for our mundane senses, so maybe we think that if it is Vrindavana, Gokula is something like here within those petals, coming nearer to the Madura, like that we can understand. And then he just goes through forest in all kinds of forests. So many forests are there. Vrindavana forest, Bahula forest, like that. Okay, so that is all about Goloka Vrindavana. So again, we will further describe. There are 4 abodes of the Lord here. What are they? This is Vasudeva, Sankashana, Pradyumna, Aniruddha, and Vasudeva, Sankashana, Pradyumna, and Aniruddha. 4. This is abodes of the 4 quadrangles here. Chaturastram. This Chaturastram is the 4 quadrangles. Okay, so that one we would see further. And also here it is mentioned like Karnikaram Madhyantram, Shatkonam Vajrakelakam, Shadangam Shatpadisthanam, Prakrutya Purushenacha. So Prakriti is the Mula Prakriti and Purusha is the Krishna. Shadanga Shatpadisthanam. And there Shadangas are there, Shatpadis. And Shatpadisthanam Prakrutya Purushenacha. Premananda Mahananda Rasena Avasidham hi yet. And there Lord enjoys with his beautiful amorous pastimes with Radharani there. Premananda Mahananda Rasena Avasidham hi yet. Jyotrupena Manuna Kama Bijena Sangatam. And it here it is very difficult for anyone to go there. So here it is, if we look here, um, Klim Krishnaya Govindaya Gopi Jana Vallabhaya Swaha. There is a mantra here which is protecting this Krishna's pastimes. So the Manuru, it is also mentioned all this in the mantras. It is guarded by Manurupasha, Manurupaisha, Dasidikpalaihi Paritogrutam. They're guarding all these mantras in the form of the humans. Manurupaisha, Dasidikpalaihi in all 10 directions. They're guarding the word of the Lord. No one can enter unless he is a devotee of the Lord, pure devotee, completely free from all kinds. That's why jewels are outside, and also dharma, artha, kama, moksha, they're also outside. They have to cross all these things, dharma, artha, kama, moksha. That's why this Srimad Bhagavatam, uh, it it starts where all dharma, artha, kama, mokshas are stopped, completed. There it starts this Bhagavatam, Bhagavata Dharma. It is for the Paramahamsas. But whoever touches the Paramahamsas of Srimad Bhagavatam, they will be going back to the board without any doubt. Okay, so that is Prabhupada. It is not that much easy, but at the same time, it is not difficult also. Okay, we stop there. I request the devotees, if you got any questions, kindly ask. You wanted to share anything, kindly share. Usha Mataji, any questions? Garingi Mataji?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, sorry, I was just came. So it's very beautiful reading, Prabhu, that like Krishna, Rama, and everything that has the petals, Sahasrapita. So when we imagine Brahma, like how the Goloka, and it's so beautiful, Prabhu. But sometimes it's understanding how the way the Krishna is in the middle and then the Dharma. So you explain very nice, Prabhu. It's Brahma Samhita is bit when we read the purport, it's bit tricky some words also to hard to understand. But you explaining very nicely, Prabhu.
Thank you, Mataji. We'll gradually digest Goloka. And also once we go through these things, there are again Rupa Goswami's Ujjvala Neelamani, and where Rupa Goswami gives different characters and those pastimes and how they engage. That is very, very nice. This is what I was mentioning about Sukadeva Goswami mentions this particular statement uh, about this. Pure devotees deserve to see more glorious things in transcendence beyond these features. This is ittam bhavena katitaha bhagavan bhagavattamah na ittam bhavena hi param drashtum arhanti surayah param drashtum arhanti surayah. It is for the devotees, not for other people. Devotees relish. Okay, thank you, Mataji. So we will see after the Brahma Samhita, we will go into other parts of Rupa Goswami's
Prabhuji, Hare Krishna. I want to ask one question. The use of the Goloka chat, Prabhuji. There
Yes,
is,
Mataji.
I saw, yeah. The middle, in the middle, there is Radha and Krishna.
Yes,
After that, the other lotus flower,
yes,
second one, not that one, yeah. Lalita Vishakha.
yes.
The, what they are, the Prabhuji? Why they are in there? The Ashtasakis.
Yes, there are manjaris. Uh, so here, Lalita Vishaka, they're all Sakis of Radharani, 8 main Sakis. They are
Yeah.
serving the Lord. But these are all always with Radharani, and Radharani's age almost maybe 14 years, something like that. Radharani is mentioned like the 14 years, 2 months, something like that. Krishna is mentioned 15 years, 9 months, like that. This is eternal ages of Radha and Krishna.
Okay.
And here, coming to this Rupa Manjari, Rati Manjari, Lavanga Manjari, they're all Manjaris, they're unmarried girl. They're a bit younger than the Sakis. They're 12 years, 11 years, 9 years, like that. But Sakis, they're all 14 years, 13 years. They are with Radharani, the main Sakis. In order to approach even Lalita Saki, and Lalita Saki has got again Manjaris assisting her. Rupa Manjari, Vilasa Manjari, they assist Lalita Saki like that. And Lalita assist Radharani directly. If we are going to the king and queen has got a close associates, and then further they have got their associates like that. Here Manjaris are also like that.
Okay. Okay. Yes, they have the eight circuits. Also, they have manjaris. Yeah, Prabhuji.
Yes. Each Saki also have got their assistants like the Vilas
Okay.
Manjari, Rupa Manjari, like that.
After that, then for second thought, there is Yashoda and Krishna. Then everywhere that one is Leela Prabhuji.
Yes, the different leelas are performed in each and every petal separately. In
Uh,
the Vrindavan means there are so many villages nearby where Krishna has performed different pastimes. Krishna killing Bakasura, likewise, there are different pastimes. But the killing things may not take place in the spiritual world because they're all transcendental. So they have got transcendental body, but it is to awaken the happiness, they perform different pastimes like that. So in different petals, different pastimes are keep going on. So that our acharyas describe like that.
Okay, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji. Or I read before the second verse. There also mentioned about Goloka and Goloka and Gokul. That is what the different, Prabhuji? Gokula is the where is Krishna born, or Krishna stayed there. Goloka also Goloka Dham, but uh, how you can explain, Prabhuji?
So here, this statement, which is highlighted already, the idea of Goloka is seen to differ from Gokula till the success in unalloyed devotion is achieved. So it is non-different. What it means in a non-different, but when there is a devotion service is still progress, then we may see some kind of difference. Oh, this is Gokula, that is Vrindavan, like that. We differentiate. That happens before we come to the pure devotional service. But once we go in there, we see everything in transcendence. All are belonging to the Goloka Vrindavan only.
Okay, Prabhuji. Then go. Okay, bye. Thank you.
So that's why, so until that point, we differentiate Goloka and Gokula. But once we are progress in the devotional, unalloyed devotional service, then we don't see any difference. It is everything is part of this Goloka Vrindavana only.
And Prabhuji, that Gokula Brindavan also from Golok Dham, yes, Prabhuji?
Yes,
Right.
yes, Madura is also Goloka Vrindavana. This entire part, whatever we are seeing, all this yellow part, this is all Goloka Vrindavana. Shweta and then later on Madura also comes here, and then Jagannath Puri, Dwaraka, they're the outer circles.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
So here, further here, it is described here. So Brahma Samhita 5.2, it is described here. The spiritual place, whatever we have gone through, this is Krishna Loka or Goloka Vrindavana. The spiritual world, the abode of Supreme Personality of Godhead. Okay, this part we will be going through here. And here, गोलोकनां निजिदां नितले च तस्या देवी महेश हरिदामनुतेषु तेषु ते ते प्रभावा नित्या विहिताश्रयेन गोविन्दमादिपुरुषं तमहं भजामि. So, lowest of all is located Devi Dhama, mundane world. Next abode is Mahesh Dhama, abode of Mahesha. Above Mahesh Dhama is the place Haridama, abode of Lord Hari, abode of Hari. And above them all is located Krishna, own realm, and named Goloka. I adore the primary Lord Govinda, who has allotted their respective authorities to the rulers of those graded realms. Okay, there is again purport is given here. This is what we are going through about the Goloka Vrindavan. So once we come to understand this part, then with our devotional service, we understand there is non-different. Goloka and Gokula is non-different. That is what the statement is mentioned. Idea of Golokula is seen to differ from Gokula till the success in unalloyed devotion is achieved. Once the devotion is achieved, there is no difference between Goloka and Gokula. They all part of the same abode of the Lord, Goloka Vrindavan. They are all situated in the Shweta Dvipa. Okay. Thank you, Gaurangi Mataji.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Any other questions?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay, thank you, Mataji. If there are no questions, no further sharings, then we shall conclude for today. And then we'll continue this discussion next Saturday. Okay, so we shall conclude now. वंशकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। अनंत कोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय, श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। हरे कृष्णा कॉन्शियस डे एवरीवन। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे, हरे